Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Well, hello. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Rachel.
Greetings. My name is Jacob, and I will be your host with Rachel today.
Excellent, Jacob.
Thank you.
Let's, it's you.
Oh, hey, guys. So, really, I was only joking earlier. My name is Matt. See, earlier in the season, I died, and then I came back as Jacob. It's kind of confusing. Don't worry about it.
You have the face of a Jacob. I get it.
So let's get into this. This is the coolest stuff on the planet, as you saw earlier with that animation that I made. Oh, yeah. Today's episode takes us to a remote island in the Pacific, lovingly referred to as Easter Island.
Mm-hmm. And our topic is giant statues called moai, which you probably recognize here.
Also known as moai.
Only in Matt's world.
Yes.
So you'll find Easter Island more than 2,000 miles off the coast of South America. And surprise, surprise, this was a surprising fact to me. It's owned by Chile.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The first Europeans to discover the island were Dutch.
It was discovered on Easter Sunday, 1722. And here's a little historical reenactment for you. Hey, Diederik, what are we going to call this island? Huh? What is it? What day is today? Today is Easter. And then Joseph and Diederik both smiled and nodded slowly. But anyway, the original inhabitants are believing...
It sounded more German to me.
Oh, yeah, it did, didn't it?
It was fantastic, though.
Sorry, that accent was terrible. But anyway...
That's great.
But anyway, I digress. And the original...
Sorry.
It's okay. The original inhabitants are believed to have originated from Polynesia in 1800 AD. And the Polynesian name for the island is Rapa Nui.
Right. Now, the origins of the early Eastern Islanders are a matter of some debate, as is their arrival date, why they came, and how they found the island. But we do know that the original inhabitants were master craftsmen.
That's correct.
They carved these large statues, many of which have very large heads.
Yeah, several of them had already reached the 32nd degree. So archaeologists believe that they did so, that they made these large heads to honor important chiefs and ancestors. In fact, all of the statues are male. And over several centuries, 887 statues of varying sizes were built by the Rapa Nui. Now you may be thinking, or perhaps even saying to yourself while you're driving in your car, Matt, how big are we talking here? Well, guess what? The smallest one's about 4 feet tall, and on an average, they're roughly 13 feet high. They weigh about 14 tons.
Yeah.
And that's some hefty statues.
Yeah, but that's not the biggest. There's bigger. The largest one ever found on the island is 72 feet tall, and it weighs between 145 and 165 tons. I don't even want to think about the math there.
That's a big forklift you're going to need to move that sucker.
Giant. So, and appropriately enough, it is called El Gigante, which means the giant. This statue was actually never erected, but we'll get to that in a minute.
But the coolest fact about these statues is how they were made. Easter Island is a volcanic island, and most of the statues have been carved out of the hardened volcanic ash, most of which was quarried from the Raro Ranaku volcano, called tuff. That's what the hardened ash is called. It's tuff.
So after carving this hardened ash, the moai were transported by unknown means to their ahus, which ahus are basically the raised platform that was created specifically to display them. Kind of like their pedestal, sort of. And the statues are all over the island. There are a lot of them line the coast, but they are all over.
Those are, as these pictures show you, they're all over the coasts. And surprisingly, almost half of them were left in various stages of completion back at the quarry. And even others were left along the roads near the quarry. So there are a ton of theories about, well, why would they move these statues halfway to where they're supposed to go, or only complete half of these and then just leave them there? Well, one of the theories would be that there's a large depletion of resources, but nobody really knows for sure. My theory, the entire thing was taking place in Hurley's head. That's just what I think. I've done some research.
All right, I trust you on that one.
It's Hurley's head, I promise.
I believe you.
Okay.
Another part of the mystery is how they were moved, because they're very large, as we said. So that's kind of been a question on the minds of scientists and archaeologists who have studied these. And they've come up with some theories. some of which involved the moai being moved with ropes, like they were lowered down from the volcano pit, and then they were moved on logs.
Yeah.
But these are just theories.
Yeah, and it sounds very difficult, but possible. But according to traditional beliefs, the islanders say that the moai walked to their locations, which sounds a little impossible because they're made out of stone.
I'm betting my money on that one.
It's very possible.
I like that idea.
Well, the reason why they are believed to have walked there is because they had help from a spiritual leader or a chief that helped them make that walk. Kind of like gave them their first baby steps, and then
Held
I guess
their
they ran with it.
hands.
Yeah.
Some really cool final details about the moai that I wanted to mention because this is just so neat. Originally, the statues had eyes, and you'll see this here, that were made of coral and obsidian.
Nice.
And some of them even had hair. They had these stone top knots that kind of look like hats.
Wow. That's really cool.
But yeah.
And obsidian, another volcanic rock, which is nice. I'm sure they were able to find lots of that.
I imagine.
Well, guys, that's all the time we have for the moai, but there's so much more to this story. If you go to our website, howstuffworks.com, check out How Easter Island Works, which is an awesome article by Candace Keener if you want to learn more about Easter Island's history and all kinds of more stuff. All kinds of more stuff?
All kinds of more stuff.
All kinds of stuff about Easter Island. It's nice and juicy and Eastery.
All right, well, and that brings us to listener mail.
Listener mail.
And now, Matt, I think that you should do the honors of reading this one because this is from a listener here in Georgia, and as a native, I think you should do the honors.
Okay, I can do this. Let's try it out. Okay, this listener mail comes from Rick from Macon, Georgia, or at least that's where his hometown is. He says, my fiance and I recently visited Okmulgee National Park in my hometown of Macon, Georgia, and it reminded me of how cool it is. The park is made up of mounds built by tribes of Native Americans, some of which you can actually go inside of, and others that are 5 stories tall. It's a very cool place, and I think it has plenty of stuff to talk about in your 5-minute podcast. Just an idea. Thanks for the stuff you do. Signed, Rick. Really appreciate that, Rick.
Yeah, thanks for that. And we love getting your emails, so please continue to send us your stories, your ideas for cool places and all that, and we will continue to read them on the air.
That's correct. And Rick, I think I visited that park when I was a child, but the memories are very, very faded at the moment. But
it sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back, I think. Thank you, and a chingui.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com and let us know what you think. Email travelpodcast@howstuffworks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free on iTunes.